Oh yeah, I don't have to shave too often, but I do shave occasionally.
Like a shaver for your face, not a mouse or a keyboard.
No, I did think that initially when you said it. I was like, no, I don't own any razor products. But no, I do own a face shaver razor, yeah. Just don't have to use it all too often.
There we go. I totally miss those odds. I don't know if...
Odds from our partners over at LootBet did put Ago as the firm favourites going into this best of one. There they are again. Actually, pretty favoured in this series. Jumping straight into this pistol round. WINSTRIKE are the guys that have taken that initial pick, and actually so much map control as well. Look at this. Lackey's already right up on B, whilst the wall of smokes is up on A. This has all been one big bamboozle. Ago have rotated all of their players, expecting this to be an A hit, and instead WINSTRIKE have wrapped around. They find themselves another man as we sit as a 5 versus 3. Oscarish going to come back in, finds himself one onto Bondic. Lackey's doing tons of damage, and he gets put to bed straight away. But it's traded back out. WINSTRIKE put their first round on the board. They keep a couple of players alive there as well, which works wonders for that economy. Means that they can buy these AKs and Galils up in round number 2. Look at this buy after that plant going down as well. They've actually got 3 AKs, a Galil, and a MAC-10 on Bondic. They will face up against the force buy from Ago, but there's not a whole lot there for them to work with. Just these pistols. Smoking a HE on a couple of these guys. Not a whole lot more than that.
No, not really a lot to work with here going into round number 2. Obviously, it is the force buy. Deagles here and there. A couple of sets of HEs. Might be a difference maker towards that A ramp area, especially. You can pop a couple of HEs through that smoke, doing quite a bit of preliminary damage. We see some of the better teams in the world often do a lot of damage from this particular angle. And well, once again, that is a reoccurrence. The Deagle's not able to connect with all too much, as Furlan does get traded. Another 4 versus 4 situation. As with a minute left, WINSTRIKE, they're heading towards this A bomb site, just trying to creep and crawl their way up ramp. And Ago are more than ready for them. Got these 2 pistols just poised on the A bomb site, ready for this aggression. I think the AK-47s should be able to hold up the charge. I'm sure that we're about to find out with the smokes going down. There you go. They need some headshots right here, right now, primarily from that Deagle. WINSTRIKE racking in. It's going to be that much more difficult.
There's always potential at this kind of range that they find them. The nade in hand is going to go over. Deals a little bit of damage. It's not going to do anything significant, though. With that bomb not being denied, WINSTRIKE are actually just going to fall straight back here. Play this really deep on the ramp. And in this 4 versus 4, something has to go horribly wrong here for them to lose this. There's no real utility for Ago to work with on this retake to isolate these fights. And instead, they're just going to have to try and swarm them and try and hold down this bomb. That smoke's going to give them a little bit to work with, but no kit means they have to go for this 10-second defuse. Spam coming right through. Another kill coming across, though. They've been unable to deny this defuse. What on earth has just happened? Not only have Ago won the round, but they didn't take any casualties whatsoever. How do they do that?
That's just superior firepower, teamwork, coordination, just diving on that bomb and putting the onus back on WINSTRIKE to go for those peaks in the open. It's never comfortable, even when you do have rifles in hand. A picture-perfect situation for Team Ago there. They're able to salvage 3 AK-47s as a result. There's minimal investment for those 3 players in what ordinarily would have been a full eco is now a full buy. A little bit of preliminary damage here. The secondary AK on Oscarish also gets dinked, which means with 90 seconds left, WINSTRIKE, they've done tons of damage.
Absolutely have. Still potential for them to give Ago a taste of their own medicine. The issue is the lack of Kevlar. Of course, WINSTRIKE getting that bomb plant in the last round means that they're not forced onto a double eco. They can just justify pulling up a couple of pistols here and buying in the next. Fantastic read from Grubby. Puts A bullet straight into the head of Lackey through that wood. Gives them that man advantage for the first time this round. WINSTRIKE, well, they're running out of options here. They've been spotted on the ramp. The Molotov's going to go down, and Furlan's going to fall right back. Not allow them to overwhelm him with those pistols up close. They're just running down the clock here. I think WINSTRIKE have not got a whole lot of equity left in this round. When they initially went B and found that pick and did loads of damage, I gave them an opportunity, but I don't think this is happening. Another trade comes through. Still the man advantage retained for Ago.
Doesn't look like the most comfortable anti-eco gear against the WINSTRIKE pistols. The AK-47 finally starting to pump in the damage. Nickelback's Deagle can't find any assault onto the A-bomb site. 2-1 here for Ago. As I said, not a massively comfy round for them. Means quite a few reinvestments here into the fourth. It'll be the first round that WINSTRIKE can afford to go for the full buy. I actually do prefer this from them, Jay, considering they could have went for the force buy in the previous prior round. Yes, they got the bomb down in the pistol. That means over in the second, when they also get that C4 down and away, it gives them this earlier buy, which is always a nice position to be in. I'd say good nade to get us started as well, as the AK-47s will start to come through. Lackey, there's the first, trying to pry and prize his way around these smokes to find the second M4A4. As it dissipates, he will be able to nail it. That opens up the B bomb site.
Really unfortunate for just unable to spot that player around that dissipating smoke. He's done fantastic work to find those two openers, and of course this is the buy round for Ago, and it's not working out whatsoever. WINSTRIKE have completely steamrolled their way in. They look to level out this scoreline 2-2 again. They're in a fantastic position to do so. This has been such a bizarre game so far. Back and forth. Nothing separating them as of yet. I think Ago surely just go for a save here if they can't find a kill on the entry. If they do so, then it means they could actually drop a couple of weapons and possibly pull out something in the next. Ooh, a crispy headshot into MHL, though. That's going to take him out of the equation. I think Grubby's just going to try and do damage. He actually isn't going to opt to save this M4 for now.
Really bad round from Ago, all things considered. Not a single frag. Not preventing WINSTRIKE from getting onto either of those bomb sites. Both were pretty much up for grabs after those first two kills. Now an even Steven scoreline, 2-2. And you are expecting WINSTRIKE to do significant damage on this terrorist side. I think we're expecting them to take maybe 8-9. A winning half is always beneficial going into the second side. And right now they've broken the economy, not just once, but twice. It forces Ago back onto the pistols. This was a fairly convincing round last time from them. Let's see if they can do the same once again. Leaving Prison out in the open, lots of targets. And only able to find the first. That's an AK-47 given away. And Lackey always going to be the second man to meet this challenge. He also falls. Shouldn't be too much of a danger point here in round number 5, considering WINSTRIKE know exactly where all of these members are. I guess Lackey should have been able to spot out both of those members. Nevertheless, the smokes will go down on A. Safety first. Better be safe than sorry. That C4 can now go down right inside that bomb site. And Ago, I would have actually preferred a bit of a save here, considering they don't have the body armor. And that is how brutal those nades are when you don't have Kevlar. This should now be save time. They nighty-night to the A site along with those AKs. Just save them through into the 6th.
Things considered, Ago have actually done quite well here to get themselves a couple of AKs as long as they can bring them into the next round. I did find it quite bizarre, and it's only like a minor nitpick thing, but they 100% saw all 5 players pushing through mid. Like, one of those 2 early players that fall, either Prison or Lackey, should call that there's all 5 players there as they've all been spotted. But yet, when WINSTRIKE went on to that A-bomb site, they were still like molotoving sandbags and putting up that wall of smokes and things like that. The wall of smoke somewhat made sense, but like expending all these molotovs and grenades and stuff to clear out these angles that you should just 100% know there's no one there because you've spotted all 5 at the start of the round was quite bizarre in my mind. I suppose better safe than sorry, but that's actually quite a lot of money that just didn't need to be thrown away there. Either way, they'll have plenty of money going into this 6th round as they look to extend their lead further. But this will be a full buy from Ago, and the first time this game, an AWP's going to be available, and it's going to be in the hands of MHL.
Peering above this smoke once again, and he's getting peppered, unable to connect. There's very minimal damage has been done in the first 20 or so seconds. Just a good bit of map control for WINSTRIKE. Sat right outside of both the A and B bomb sites. Those nades aren't going to do too much either. Already a little bit of a stalemate here on Vertigo. I guess WINSTRIKE are more than happy just to sit back, gun for those opening frags, wait for a mistake to come through. And even in a 5 versus 4, maybe expecting peaks towards A ramp, which are coming in from both sides. See, MHL has that position totally fixed, and that is not how you activate that run boost. bo1, he's going to go for a second go at it, and that does force the AWP off the angle.
That AWP not really connecting any of those shots there. That's going to be costly for Ago. Brings things back into a 4-on-4. Is going to spot out the leg. There we go. MHL finally connecting something. Gives the man advantage back in Ago's favor, and initiate rotate from WINSTRIKE, but Ascaris has pushed right up. Finds himself another freebie, a 2-man advantage now for Ago. He has to be careful here. That timing might work out for him, but that's not going to be the case. Krisen swings out just in the nick of time. And there's an opportunity here for Ago to get onto this B-bomb site if they can take out Fiku on this cross.
Both sets of HP are incredibly low, and with 10 seconds left, it might be time to bail from B. bo1's going to be the second to fall out of the equation. Both AK-47s should be saved. I can't see Ago going for much of a hunt, and they don't have the time to do so either. So those 2 premium rifles will be carried through into round number 7. The AWP picked up for Elian as well. That's a nice little flank from Oscarish there. I really do like it. Just controlling the rotates, and he gets that information that they're heading over towards the B-bomb site incredibly early. At that point, they cannot backtrack to A, which means that the rotates can easily come through for Ago. They've got the whole of the defense towards that side of the map before the push comes in. Very nicely done. This is going to be the classic ramp contest that we quite commonly see here on Vertigo. I would say if you've got out a heat map, this whole area would be red with blood, guts, death, lots of action.
Tend to see that here on Vertigo. Lots and lots of early firefights happening on that A ramp area. Changing this game. Obviously, it's very, very early on, but I'm actually quite impressed by what we're seeing from WINSTRIKE. They're certainly holding their own on a map that not historically too comfortable with. Giving Ago a run for their money so far. All groups up towards ramp. 5 players looking to try and take this control. Furlan still in alley though. Ready to do some damage. Not been smoked or flashed off this corner as of yet. That grenade might be able to punch in some extra. Gonna happen though, he's not gonna throw it. Starts to fall back instead. But the rotations have already come in here for Ago. They've got 3 men ready and waiting on this A site to try and shut this one down. More utility comes over. I wouldn't be surprised if they rotate a 4th as well. And here comes the execute.
MHL initially forced off the angle, and with a triple defense towards this side of the map, Ago with 15 seconds left should be able to hold in the fire. Furlan able to swing to even up the numbers. A 3 versus 3, and this bomb still hasn't gone down. How is Grubby going to prevent the numbers from being tapped in? The answer is he can't. Does find a frag in the meantime. Pair of AKs at the ready. bo1 just heading down the ramp to control a flank. It's not coming through. Rejoins his teammate on the A bomb site as they're punching the damage through. Both of those kills found. That's going to be a relatively easy retake for Ago. Nevertheless, a 4th on the board, a short lead. This is what you're looking for on that CT side, Jay. Just trying to scrap for rounds. Take a, as I said before, a short lead. Get on to 6, 7, or 8. Those kind of acceptable benchmarks here on this first map of the day. A best of 1, of course. If you're just tuning into the Malta Vibes Week 9 for the first time, maybe you have been, you can use that Malta AV or Malta V15. I should know it by now, shouldn't I? To get that refill bonus on Hellcase. I'm sure that people will know what it does a little more than me. Can you explain what a refill bonus is, Jay? For the viewers who don't know, definitely not for my benefit.
So when you add money to the site, the thing gives you a bonus. So if you add $10 and you've got a 15% refill bonus, then it will give you $11.50.
Oh.
Yeah, little bonus for you. Gives you a bit of free cash to open some cases with. It's quite fun stuff. Kicking things off here then in round number 8. That last round from Ago really all came off of the back of Furlan there. That flash came over. It was absolutely perfect. It forced him off the angle. But WINSTRIKE just didn't clear the corner, and instead they get completely punished for it. Coming into this round, I hope that we're a little bit more thorough with their site takes. So many boxes that you can be hiding behind over on that A site. Even more on the B site. To make sure you clear them before you try and go for that plant. Furlan close to these sandbags. He hasn't spotted anything yet with these jump spots. Little does he know there's 4 players close, and as soon as that smoke dissipates, he's going to spot them. The info's relayed. MHL's able to poke out. Needs to try and find himself a couple more here, and he's able to do exactly that. He's done his damage for this round, and he can finally fall. The man advantage now for Ago to work with, as WINSTRIKE have 20 seconds left on this clock to try and get this bomb down, and there's no way it's happening.
No, not expecting a triple defense towards that side of the map. The AWP hitting quite a nice benchmark behind the sandbags. Just all the pieces firing together for Ago. Good cohesion on that A defense. There's always a question mark how you're going to play that ramp area. Are you actually going to get really aggressive? Are you going to prompt MHL's AWP all the way down ramp? And thus far, that's exactly what he's been doing. He's not head to the B bomb site once. And here, WINSTRIKE, they want another go at it, Jay. All of these pistols heading up to A. And MHL is going to claim heads once again. That is a complete shut away towards that side of the map. Leaving just Elian on his lonesome. He's very lonely right now. He needs a friend. Not going to get any. All of these CTs on the server, they're not his friends. They could be. I'm not sure.
No, they're bullying him. They don't like him. They want to get him off the server.
My friends don't shoot me in the face.
Yeah, I think that's a sign that, like, if they're shooting you in the face, they're not your friend. They don't like you.
That's why they say you don't know who your real friends are until it's too late. And if you get shot in the face, then quite literally,
you don't have time to say, oh, you're not my friend. Too late for you, my friend. Round number 10. Ego with this full buy again. If they can extend this further, then this is actually incredible. The CT side on Vertigo is one that tends to be difficult, and Furlan showing off that he doesn't think so. Finds himself a nice 3K, make that 4 as well with a fantastic flash from Grubby. He's actually on for the ace here. I don't think he finds it with 21 HP. He actually wants to try and stay alive here. And it's going to be the AWP to find the 5th. But what was looking very, very close early on is now starting to become more and more one-sided as the rounds go on. Nego actually looking to put an 8th on the board here, as they'll just be against the pistols in this next. Look at this again. Fantastic positioning from Furlan.
And that's why I always describe the first kind of 6 or 7 rounds. Sometimes extends a little further than that. It's scrappy. You are just scrapping and scrimming for these initial rounds, for that initial lead. And Ago definitely the victors on my scorecard. Also on the scorecard in the server, the one that really matters. Trying to get to 16 first in this best of 1, and yeah, so close to nailing that headshot. Nevertheless, it's the secondary Deagle to do double damage. Krisen, a pair of headshots, and this one just got interesting. The whole of this B bomb site open. Now they've got to wrap the bomb in. And realistically, MHL might be able to spot one on the cross here. There's an AK retrieved and a missed shot. That's unfortunate. With 70 seconds left, C4 goes down and away in the safety of that A bomb site. And that AWP's going for a double dip, and it's not going to work out. Just this AK alone. What a clean round for WINSTRIKE, considering they only had a couple of deagles carried through into it. That is a interesting time, to say the least, to take your fourth.
How on earth do they convert this one? Such fantastic shots, though. Look at that again from Crizzen. Incredible aim to get the work done there. Won't phase too much the economy side for Ago, and we'll be able to pull out a full buy here. Actually going for a double up setup as well, something we haven't seen so far. Oscarish being the other man to pull one out on the B side. Now faced up against a full buy here from WINSTRIKE, though, to try and contest it, and the AWP from Alliance going to open things up. He's instantly traded, though, and Furlan getting one of his own back, but the trades are coming through for WINSTRIKE. A fantastic random shot through the smoke to connect. Gets Nickelback right down to 15 HP. Nonetheless, the man advantage, though, and Ago are forced to fall right back here. Give them some leg room to work with. WINSTRIKE have a good opportunity of converting this round. They just have to make sure they guess correctly with this site take, and as they start to walk over towards B, as long as Oscarish doesn't cause them too many problems, this should be the right gamble.
He needs to radio in for the reinforcements sooner rather than later, and he's not going to get the chance. Nickelback takes his face off, leaving Ago with just a pair of players. A couple of kills there to turn back the tide, but what is MHL going to decide to do here? He now knows that there's presence towards the middle of the map, and this bomb doesn't want to engage, doesn't want to give him a pair of 1 versus 1s here, and Bondit could very easily fall back to the A bomb site. MHL definitely has a task on his hands. They are still hightailing the way into B, but MHL isn't going to realize this until it's too little too late. Yes, he's got that defuse kit and probably an AK-47 or 2 in translation if he wants to rotate over towards the curly letter once again. Look at how late this info is going to come in. Finally, he's going to realize it. And this should be pretty well signposted as to where he is. Just trying to wrap and rotate from this A-bomb site. He's going to be pretty short on time by the time he gets here. And although the rotates are actually quite short and snappy here on Vertigo, that bomb's already half-ticked before he gets in. And Bondic able to take his face off once again. That's WINSTRIKE good for 5. Maybe even a couple more here, considering the Ago money is very, very shaky, to say the least.
Finally managed to break their opponent's bank that built up quite substantially, and now they do actually have an opportunity to have a good half here. When they were 7-4 down, you think to yourself, back into this one, Ago could just completely roll over this, take maybe a 10-5 half, and then WINSTRIKE just have nothing left back into this one, especially kicking things off on that T side. Now they're keeping this one competitive. They should be able to convert this round with ease. They do so, put themselves onto 6, set themselves up for a 7th as well. I was going to question Furlan's AWP purchase, but, well, he's certainly justifying it, finding himself 2 early kills. Robbie finds one of his own as well, just with that P2000. Now the man advantage in Ago's favour. Furlan's dropped that AWP over to MHL, and he's going to try and do some damage with it too.
This was a pretty polarized buy, but with the kills coming in, MHL, he's got the angle. That's another frag, leaving just Crizzen in a 1 versus 3. The HP not even in his favor. MHL's going to finish him off as well. 4 of those 5 frags found with the AWPs, and it's a full sniper setup to get the job done there for Ago. They maintain this lead. They're going to win this CT side of their half on Vertigo. That's obviously substantial coming into the second side. If you've already got 8-9 rounds in the reserve, you're definitely looking favored on this particular map. And we've got no idea what the WINSTRIKE CT side is going to necessarily look like. Usually, it's a little bit weaker. You want a couple more on your terrorist half here. Maybe 8-9 of your own. Yeah, MHL is doing it again. And deep to head down route. Not going to find anything through those smokes.
Ever so slightly favour that T side, and remember that is against a lower caliber of side than Ago, often than not. Fortunately, a whiffed Molotov. Exactly where they want it. They're actually going to throw another, and it really doesn't do a whole lot. No one from WINSTRIKE's going to be aggressed that far. Close. He could get himself into a good angle here. With that smoke, he could dance around it, retrieve this AWP. Really punch in some damage. Bondic seems to be very, very aware. Ooh, almost connecting the no-scope through the smoke. Going to fall right back off of it. They retain this double AWP setup. They've got a big stack over towards this A site as well. So a huge opportunity for them to convert this round despite the man disadvantage, especially if they can get any kill with this boost. But oh my, Alliance landed the shot straight through the wall, connected to the head, and now they have a two-man advantage pushing into this A site.
Wow, Furlan, he's going to fall the same fate, leaving Oskrish all alone. I don't even know if he can go for this one here. I guess he has to, considering nobody else has anything to work with in round number 15. But I do not envy Fiku's position. Was that 4 blind shots or just the 3? I'm not sure if it even matters there, but WINSTRIKE, I think they're going to be incredibly happy with that one. Up to 6 rounds on their T side. Still not enough. We'll see if they can take a pistol on their CT half as well to bolster that scoreline. Bulk up, get to those all-important double digits where you've always got a position to take this one over the top and an opportunity to do so as well. Now it's time for Ago to see if they can steal number 9. It's far from an ideal buy here. The AK's already dispatching of these players. There's another shot through the smoke. Oskareshi's history.
I'm actually quite impressed with WINSTRIKE's ability to convert that last round after a huge blunder against what in effect was just a full eco with a hero. I think that can play some games on your mind, but instead they come right back into it. They come in really, really hot, and in the 15th, they're not really up against anything. Ago just down to that kind of $1,500 mark. They just had to pull out some pistols in Kevlar. Really not a whole lot else to work with, and they've not really been able to put anything into this round. NHL's going to deal some damage, but it doesn't matter unless he finds his 1 versus 4. WINSTRIKE will be able to put their 7th on the board. It's not the best of T-halves, but as the underdog coming into this map, 8-7 isn't too bad. Especially if they can convert that pistol. If they take the pistol round, I think they've actually got a decent chance of taking an early lead on that second half and maybe pulling off this map of Vertigo. If they lose it, I still heavily favour Ago here. But Nickelback, he's got the angle perfectly, anticipating that smoke push. And WINSTRIKE, they are going to put their 7th on the board. 8-7 here. Ever so slightly favouring Ago.
Yeah, that's the real worry about losing your T-side on a map like Vertigo, is it does put so much emphasis on this pistol. If Ago are able to take the T-pistol here, they'll get on to probably 10 or 11 before WINSTRIKE can get in the buy, win a rifle round or 2, and you've pretty much won the map at that point. We'll see what WINSTRIKE brings to the table in the form of a defense. The big question mark, or maybe even exclamation mark, is that ramp aggression. How do you realistically decide to defend it? And those are those odds. Swings fairly firmly in Ago's favor. Now we know what the bettors think. Let's see what the players think here in this initial pistol. Lots and lots of nades for Ago. I guess this means they'll be heading towards this A-bomb site. They've got enough for a wall of smokes. Also enough for 2 HEs right over the top of those railings. Either behind scaffolding or actually dunking them onto this A-bomb site. Big issue is if Nickelback here is able to connect a headshot onto Oskrish or Furlan, renders all of that utility useless and wasted. But, well, here comes the initial flash. This covers the first angle, and Nickelback, he's going to be forced away. He's up close and personal. There's the counter flash. Doesn't work out. Elian's going to be the second man with the plan to gun in from the sidelines, but the HEs are still at the ready. And when and where are Ago going to utilize these? I guess it's got to be a nade stack towards the back of this bomb site. There actually goes one of these smokes. The second onto the actual mainland of that site. But where are the nades going? Just over the top? Know about that one. There didn't seem to be much of a plan there. Usually you use it to the back of this boost, and it's given WINSTRIKE loads of time to react. All of the pieces are here for the defense. And Ago getting completely shut down in this pistol. The Glock trying to rattle away both of these shots. It's not going to happen. 8-8.
Well, WINSTRIKE have managed to pull it off. Those odds at the start actually surprising me a little bit as well, because Of course, that T side is typically ever so slightly favored, and therefore WINSTRIKE not quite winning the half means that maybe you don't necessarily fancy them here in the second half. But I think to take an 8-7 at halftime on Vertigo against Ago, they've certainly outdone initial expectations. So to see the odds actually swaying further in Ago's favor at halftime does certainly surprise me. I'd be interested to see what bettors think now that WINSTRIKE have won this pistol round and have an opportunity to actually take the lead here as they just face up against a full eco. Of course, no bomb plant from Ago in that last round. Does mean that there's going to be no investment here. The flash is coming over. Bondic, an opportunity to mow this one down, but it's actually Nickelback to find the lion's share of them. The MP9s wreak havoc, deal tons of damage, rack up loads of cash as well. WINSTRIKE put themselves in the lead for, oh, the first time since probably round number 5 or 6, I suppose.
This is all up in the air at this point. Ago do desperately need this initial rifle round to stop this from becoming 10, 11, 8. I would expect if WINSTRIKE win this, it's worth 2. To the contrary, Ago probably have to win 2 on the trot to actually break this by. Lots of aggression towards ramp, up close and personal. MP9 is hardly a surprise. And as Furlan creeps in closer, he should be behind this CT side. Oscarish pipes in for another one. And that's the defense temporarily broken. Ago obviously a massive firepower advantage going into this 18th. I think the main talking point is the next round, the 19th. WINSTRIKE with M4s in hand. There is an opportunity that they save to prioritize utility. There's HEs, a couple of smokes, Molotovs. Of course, on the CT side, you want almost everything in your arsenal. And these kills are actually going to help out the economy quite a bit. If Grism can find a couple of shots here, it just means, well, that money's going to be a little bit better than it otherwise would have been, but not this time.
Can always be the... when you go for that bonus round, you've just got a couple of MP9s to work with, and AK's flurry in, you can always be punished. And going into round number 19, despite the fact that WINSTRIKE found a fair share of kills with them, they aren't going to have a whole lot to work with. Certainly no AWP available. Lackey and Krisen down to that FAMAS. Fair amount of utility on this CT side, but as they face up against the rifles, the AWP on MHL, they've certainly got their work cut out for them to try and regain this lead. Nonetheless, we sit 9-9. A surprising scoreline so far. I'm interested to see if Ago pull away and take this map, or whether it actually ends up going back and forth and we have a super competitive game on our hands, because that's often the case, isn't it? When it's your favored map and you go on to the second half, it may be competitive up until this point, but then you start to string together some rounds, you find your rhythm, and you really just pull away and end up taking it like 16-10, 16-11. Is that going to be the case here on Vertigo, though? That's the question that's in my mind.
I think in the majority of maps, that would usually be the case here, especially with Ago being the favored team coming into this series. We'll see what WINSTRIKE bring to the table in the form of a defense. They've not brought a lot of utility to the table here, but Lackey with the firepower, punching through a couple of headshots to eliminate Furlan.
Position. He's got himself a nice angle, an opportunity for him to spray through here and deal all the damage. He finds himself 2 more. And they've completely cleaned this one up.
Where did the damage come from? Was it a nuclear bomb? Can we get a replay, perhaps? I think it was a big fat HE grenade, Jay. But something did 200 damage. And I think I should have went to Specsavers, but here we go. Here it comes again. Where's the nade? Is it going to sail in? They just get dealt phantom damage. What was it? Spam?
Yeah, it was just a spam. A nade didn't even come through there. It was actually just... I think it was just a spam that came through. They pulled those rotations. They had all the info, and they just started to spam through those smokes. I like the run boost. It doesn't actually pay any dividends this round.
Prison. He's the ghost of Christmas headshots.
Deagles. Oh my. Very nice opening headshot from Grubby. He's not going to be allowed any more than that, though. Lackey's going to clean things up nicely. WINSTRIKE should actually be able to put themselves onto 11 here. Yeah, there we go. Clean stuff.
Yeah, getting to that double-digit mark almost always means an 11th here for WINSTRIKE, considering that is just pistols from Ago. Massive round from Crizzen, really to push them over the top there in round number 19. And carried through a slight lead here. I would have said that WINSTRIKE, they definitely needed those pair of rounds right there and then. Otherwise, as you said, Jay, Ago, they get a couple of rounds on the board. They start to pull away with the AKs. And we start to see what that T side from the favorites is really made of. Now that's been delayed ever so slightly. And WINSTRIKE, a bit of an opportunity to build up their bank as well. 3 players lingering around the 5K mark. Crizzen and Lackey just a little bit less, about half money there. But realistically, enough to go for back-to-back buys here on the CT side. And that's obviously going to benefit your counter-terrorist half massively here. Should be able to just buy up continuously here on the defense. Puts Ago in a bit of a pressure spot where they need to take 2 T rounds in a row just to break the buy and force those ecos. Those ecos on Vertigo is usually what makes it so T-sided. That CT half, you're going to be ecoing practically every second round that you lose. With WINSTRIKE, that buffer, that advantage, this is the way into the best of 1.
Sort of spamming away, unable to find anything as of yet. The smoke gun down from Bondik's actually going to buy them a little bit more time to work with. The nade lands right in his face though, gets him down to 40 HP. Nice gap in this smoke as well. If he does over-aggress here, he certainly will get punished for it. The execute coming through, the flashes and smokes rain over. Very nice initial shot from the Lion there. Spots out the second head as well, and as they push through, they're focused on him, and Nickelback's able to capitalize on it. A man advantage now for WINSTRIKE to work with. The bomb's going to be punched down. There's no one to stop it. Alliance spams through the smoke. Not going to be connecting. Still the man advantage for them. And there you go, they haven't really been allowed to get post plants here. Just dancing around in this box, trying to even out the numbers, and he does so.
Wow, that is quite the round there from WINSTRIKE. The retake, just extreme patience, holding all 3 of those CTs, a crossfire of angles. One that Ago inevitably walked right into there. Very lucky to find that sidelining shot onto scaffolding as well, just to complete the retake right there. You see these initial kills come in. You'd think that the round is over at this point, but Ago clearly had other ideas. Nevertheless, forced back onto the pistols here going into round number 22. We'll see every player with a set of Kevlar. Nice bolstered bank gives them a buy into the next. This should be a 13th though, Jay. Let's see if Elianzorp can stand up. It's the jump. Just a bait out the shot. Lovely nade. Does tons of damage. And he's caught out in the open. That's going to be a 2-for-1 trade. And Nickelback has to be very careful that he doesn't overcommit against Furlan's AWP.
Tons of damage has been dealt early just from those spams and that grenade. Nonetheless, Ago do have this man advantage. An AWP to work with. Kevlar behind it as well. Press back over towards his A site. WINSTRIKE have been doing really well so far on their CT side. I like that setup that they played last round with that AWP on the boxes and the M4 up close just to swing off the contact. Certainly weren't expecting him to be there. Bondik right now, though. He's got 4 players all stacked up. He needs to deal with tons of damage here, and he's only able to find 1. Actually connects a load of shots onto Oscarish as well. Gets him down to 6 HP. That grenade's going to do more damage. And despite the fact that it's a 3-on-2, Ago, there's just slithers of HP on each of these players. How on earth are they supposed to get this one done?
Especially with no smoke grenade and a Molotov in hand. There it dunks and it just misses. That allows the bomb to go down. And here Ago, one of the more peculiar retakes. Lackey right over the top, able to sweep 1 out of the server. Legitimately 1 bullet needed per player here. MHL, he needs to be the key member. Sidelining shot comes in. And now Lackey, he's got a bit of a task on his hands. The bomb is not planted for this AWP, so they're going to take up the same angle. Lackey's got to be very aware of this one. He's going to swing into the AWP, and MHL has the angle. Lock and key. Ago up to 10. And a round that they realistically shouldn't have been winning right there. That's their second eco/half by victory. He were on vertigo already, and they're still not ahead. This is an opportunity to close that scoreline. Oh, I mean, even a tactical pause, Jay.
Pulling that timeout off the back of it somewhat makes sense. It's very surprising that they're able to take that round. Obviously, Elian just going for that early pick over towards mid. It's something that it isn't really a problem. Like, most of the time, absolutely makes sense. Maybe against those pistols, you have to be a little bit more aware that you could get overwhelmed like that. That's really exactly what happens. He fires off one shot. That will be it for him. They retrieve that AWP, they find themselves 3 kills and manage to convert a round that they really shouldn't have been able to. They're still trailing by 2 rounds here, and actually WINSTRIKE have got enough money in the bank to invest back into this. Cause them all too many problems. It's not going to be the best to buy, as we are going to see MP9, a couple of rifles. What's Lackey got?
I think just a deagle here.
Just a deagle? Yeah, wow. Okay. An opportunity here then for Ago to convert this round, and if they can do so, they'll be able to level out the scoreline.
Look at the HUD. I love that. Is that a smoke just going completely off the rails? Look at it in the top left. It's going skew if. There we go.
Oh, wow.
It pops off the map. That's hilarious. I don't think I've ever seen that before. There's a first time for everything. I want a replay of that, please, after the round. I just saw it whiz in from afar, like from a distance. Like somebody on the B stream had just thrown a smoke in. The round is over in my eyes. That has made my day. I'm a very easy man to impress, I think, but WINSTRIKE. There is an open opportunity to take a 13th here. Couple of kills, leaving just MHL left. Since he's saving, are we please allowed to see the smoke again? That really entertained me.
I don't think I've ever seen that before either.
Never.
I'm surprised it pops. I think on any other map it just like disappears, but for it to land like what, on the street? Pop?
I think MHL
cause a car
survives
accident.
here. I think we've got time for a really long replay. Well, since they're not going for the hunt, he is going to retain this AWP, which I guess is important. He could have afforded one even without that. We're looking for the smoke that went out of the map, but it happens on the HUD. That was the highlight of the day. The replay observer right now is frantically trying to find it. I guess he won't. I guess he won't be able to find it. It's the first time I've ever seen it, Jay. There's a first time for everything. But considering we have been talking about it for two whole minutes, it's taken up a lot of airtime. There it goes again. Look, here we go. This is smoke. This time it bounces off again. They're getting this smoke wrong every time. And this isn't even a replay. This is another round, and you'll see the smoke pop. That's hilarious.
I've never seen this before. I've actually seen it 2 rounds in a row. Whatever they're throwing, they need to stop trying to throw it.
They're getting the smoke wrong every time. It's such a derpy little icon as well, the way it just goes like, woo.
Back to the game. Right, we can't be entertained all day by smokes. WINSTRIKE actually pulled off the impossible last round. With that limited buy, with just the Deagle and the MP9, they managed to convert it against the full investment from Ago. Now they sit 3 rounds ahead, and if they actually win this one, they're in contention to take this game. Ago will have no money left in the bank. They'll be 1 away from match point. WINSTRIKE seriously impressing me right now, and well, they're almost in the home straight. All they have to do is win this one, and Bondic, he's got a fantastic position. As soon as this smoke dissipates, he'll have an opportunity, but Viku's ready for it. Can't find himself more than one, though, as it is traded out, but MHL's there to pick up the pieces. And the man advantage retained from Ago for now.
Couple of lower HP players. Elian does hit the secondary shot, misses the tertiary one. That was levels out the numbers once more. There's a Lackey's able to poke in from the side. Furlan jumps on top of those boxes. High risk, low reward. 14 to 10 here. The big question mark, though, Jay, is do they throw that smoke again? Because this is a map to remember just for that. I want everybody to watch this T side. It might even be the CT half. I really don't know who's throwing the smoke. They must have realized that the smoke is just never there where they want it. With a couple of smokes in play, I'm kind of waiting for this one. Which one is it? Oh no, he hits the smoke this time. He's just been throwing it off the map. He's been consistently missing that ramp smoke. Okay, I get it now. I finally know what's going on. I feel like a more knowledgeable man for it, which, to be honest, isn't too hard to do. Oh, that's hard to do.
Very nice. Is every day. Very nice headshot from sprayed out that frag that Bondic initially found. Nonetheless, look at this WINSTRIKE. An opportunity to get onto match point here, and all they have to do is win against the Pistols to do so. Spraying away, they completely shut it down. A flurry of 4 frags come through in the space of a second, and they're on match point. They're 15 to 10. 5 chances of closing this one out. Who would have expected it?
Well, this is certainly an impressive result, to say the least. 15 to 10, definitely not a guarantee at this point. They need 1 out of the next 5, and this defensive half has been very, very robust. I love that we're watching that smoke every time. We're trying to catch him off guard, trying to catch him out. But just 1 step ahead for us.
I'd like to see the smoke path, like follow it, go out the map.
Yeah. The good thing is,
get a tour of Vertigo.
There's a great bug in Counter-Strike, which is like an observer's worst nightmare. That if a smoke is like in transit for too long, sometimes the observer camera gets stuck in the smoke. So we would literally be like out of the map for a good 30 seconds.
Watching the cars go by.
Yep, you can see the whole shebang. Oh, there's a fix, supposedly, but there's not much of a fix for this. Bondic, he's got quite a powerful flank, trying to get spotted out. The trigger discipline does not work out for him. And this time it's Elian versus a pair of players to try and end Vertigo in its tracks. Creeping and crawling his way in with this AWP. A couple of nades in hand. And there's the headshot to finish him off. 15 to 11.
That's really unfortunate there. If Ago actually pull this one back and take it to OT, Bondic's going to be kicking himself. He had a fantastic opportunity to take that round right there and then, and he just whiffs it. Ago now on 11. They need 4 consecutive rounds of perfect Counter-Strike to pull it right back, and I like this from WINSTRIKE. They're not even going to invest anything here. They've actually got some money to pull out a Force here. They've got some money to pull out some pistols and Kevlar, and instead they just go for the full eco. They want absolutely everything to work with in the next, and they want to make sure that they give up rounds early on rather than when they're in this kind of 13-15 situation, and they absolutely have to convert. Ooh, a nice opening headshot from Lackey as well. Gives them the man advantage here and keeps their opponent's economy at bay, which is quite important at this stage.
Actually really do dig this save for WINSTRIKE. Even if they get a couple of kills here, what is happening? This was pretty much a full eco, and they now have quite the advantage. 3 rifles retrieved. Not a single set of Kevlar in sight. And there's Furlan to try and level back the numbers once again. Lackey's got a nice powerful angle here. Furlan walks right into him, leaving MHL all alone. Trying to grab hold of that AK here. Knows that he's got an advantage against the unkevlared members. And as MHL, how is he going to get this bomb down? If he heads to B, the timing should surely not work out. The rotate will come through for WINSTRIKE. But if he does decide to plant and WINSTRIKE do aggress, how are they going to play this one? Now watching the angle means they're trapped on the site, and it's a 1-bullet headshot to end Vertigo. Ago cannot be happy with that one. It's 16 to 11 to finish things off.
They're absolutely not going to be. I mean, we talked about this group initially where we said there's actually potential